Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Daily Magic. My name is SlytherinKnight, and I'm so happy you could join me. So, today's new daily, new quest is to cast 20 blue or red spells, and we're going to be running a mono blue aggro deck. Yeah, right? Not what you'd expect. But this comes courtesy of, at least the majority of it comes courtesy of Red Cat MTG on YouTube. It caught my attention. I was looking for a mono blue option. This caught my attention because it's a more heavily, aggro centric blue deck, which I don't see very often, and I was like, why not, right? I like artifacts. It gives us a chance to use Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, a new planeswalker, and yeah. The main thing that's different from this deck is that I added in 2 copies of Simulacrum Synthesizer, just because I was kind of surprised that the original didn't have any, especially because, everything this point onward, other than Tezzeret, will trigger Simulacrum Synthesizer. So I was just a little surprised. But yeah, so let's go through it just real quick. We'll go through more of the important stuff. Emissary Escort is a good centerpiece card, mainly because this creature gets plus X plus 0, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts you control. So it doesn't count itself, which is fine. But that means that, playing anything else, like you can have, it's high. The way I understand this, the highest power it can have is 7 with the Valkyrie aerial unit. Because the affinity for artifacts, while that does lower the cost of casting this card, it doesn't actually lower the mana value. At least that's my assumption. So that's the idea. Get this guy out, have a lot of artifacts on the field to where you can play Memory Guardian, Valkyrie aerial unit out for a lot cheaper. And then we also have Mechanozoa, robot jellyfish. It has a warp ability, but I'm assuming that while it's warped out on the field, its mana value is still considered 6, which would make Emissary Escort a 6/4. Again, that's my assumption. I haven't actually tested this yet, but I feel like that's the idea. So, what else to go over? Bounce off, and Desculpting Blast. Wait, what? Desculpting Blast. Okay. Both of these are for bouncing things off the field. This one just whenever you want. Blast is good for if the opponent is attacking, because you can make a drone, which is fantastic. We have Synthesizer Labship, which is an artifact that has to be stationed. Once you get to +2 charge counters at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 other target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2. And gains flying until end of turn. I'm not entirely sure what the best things to use that on would be. Just not entirely sure what the best things to use that on would be. Maybe Basilisk Collar, maybe Lavaspur Boots, I don't know. But if anything, it's just a really cheap artifact that we can play, so why not? Speaking of, Basilisk Collar and Lavaspur Boots are good equipped cards. This one gives Death Touch and Lifelink, and this one gives a +1 to power, haste, and ward 1. Both of those are just pretty good in general. Diversion Unit is, again, a really cheap flying artifact that can be sacrificed to counter a target instant or sorcery unless the controller pays 3, which, yeah, not bad, right? Already talked about Emissary Escort. Illvoi, the Light Jammer, is just a way to help protect. Just 1 copy of it and a way to protect a card, give it hexproof, but then they also get a +1 to their power and a +2 to their toughness. Dauntless Scarpbot. When this creature enters, exile each opponent's graveyard, create a lander token. That's fantastic for dealing with the heavy, the graveyard manipulation decks. And then a lander token, you can sacrifice it to get a basic land, or it counts as an artifact. So, whatever you want. Tezzeret, his abilities, for 0, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Pretty much all of our creatures are. -3, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. There's not a whole lot we would use this for, because it's really just Synthesizer Labship, Basilisk Collar, and Lavaspur Boots. And then for 7, you get an emblem. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. So just a way of buffing our stuff. And that's relatively easy to get. He starts off at 4 loyalties, so just have to play 3 artifacts, gets up to 7, uses ability. You get the idea. Memory Guardian, and then we kind of talked about these guys already. And finally, we do have Uthros Titanic Godcore at its +12 charge counter for 1 blue, and tapping it, you can add blue mana for each artifact you control. I don't see us doing that very often, but yeah, you never know. Anyway, that is the deck. Took a little bit longer to explain that than I would have preferred, but that's okay. Let's jump into some matches. Like I said, I haven't used it yet, but this is a relatively straightforward deck. You have some options to be kind of creative if you want to be, but other than that, it's predominantly a mono blue robot aggro, artifact aggro. Yeah, no, all of these are good. Shelter. I would take the synthesizer, yeah. But that still just makes it a 3/1. You can't kill my guardian with it. Ah. Well, there you go. That's fine. We will do this. Do this. Go ahead and... Oh, that was dumb. I should have waited. Yeah, that was dumb. Just go ahead and buff that. Yeah, if they don't have a way of getting rid of Memory Guardian, they just won't attack. Okay. They do not. So we can do Tezzeret. Which, should I? Or should I go ahead and get rid? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Or no, let's do this one. Let's see. Collar, let's go with you. I don't really think I need Basilisk Collar right now. We're going to keep the token just so I can potentially block. Maybe. We'll see. Then again, if they do anything, we'll probably do Desculpting Blast instead. But we'll see. Definitely depends on what our opponent decides to do. If they play another... Okay, no, that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, do it. And goodbye. Goes back to your hand. I get an artifact. Let's go. I want to play this, but we only have 5 to work with. That would tap something. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. 5 damage to Tezzeret. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine to me. Let's go ahead and drop you. Let's see if this works. Probably should... Actually, I should have waited on that. That was dumb. And... yeah, let's do this one. Because now I can use that. Alright, we'll take it. Not too bad, in my opinion. Not too bad at all. Though, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Our opponent was playing... I assume that was some form of equipment deck, but... yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we will take that. So with that, we did level. We completed our play 25 lands. What all did we get, though, besides the... oh, we got a pet. Yeah, we got the... yeah, the Void Emissary Companion, 1 Mastery Orb, and we do have a Pact open, I do see that. Awesome. We will get to that in a moment. Let's do one more match. Yeah, let's do one more match. We might end up going over kind of our 20 minutes, but if that happens, I do apologize. But I kind of want to do one more match, because so far, I like it. I like this deck. It's very, yeah, it's very simple, like I said it was. But, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Alright, there we go. Sure. We're going second. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out. I could warp this in, but we're going to do memory. Yeah, it makes that a 5-5, or 5-4. Nice. So what does that do? It gives a creature plus, yeah, +1/+1. Rude. So are you sure about that? Like, are you absolutely sure about that? I don't really think this is going to do anything, but, like, I don't really think it's going to matter. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't matter. I guess I could have canceled it. Yeah, see, that didn't really matter, but of their choice, you gain life equal to that power's touch, so they gain 3 life. How about I just, you know, invalidate that? Not much else I can do with it at the moment. That's fine. Do I still get the... yeah, I do. But it doesn't matter. It's not at 9 yet, so... Does it matter, I wonder? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Takes him to 3. So they have to create a zombie token. Draw a card. Rude. Oh, we can do both of these. Let's do this one first. Okay, we have another aerial unit coming out. Yeah, actually, I'm okay with those. This will get rid of one of their zombies, at least. Yep. Yeah, they do get to draw a card, which is a little annoying, but that's kind of what I was expecting. So you need to be able to get rid of my... Yeah, which they can. Darn. At the moment, we don't really need the island. This is a problem. 2 creatures of their choice, so they can get rid of my, yeah. They get 2 card draw, yeah. That has reach, so it'll be able to block. And there's the Ashiok. Yeah, we're kind of at a rock and a hard place at the moment, to be honest. I could do this to... Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what happens. We're going to do this. We'll lock down you. So that on my turn I can still just attack. Looking for something to get rid of the mech, of our mech. Jace. Draw a card. So, what is this? A Soul Tie Super Friends? Is that what I'm getting from this? These guys... No? Not yet? Oh, you just suck. Alright. That's pretty much game at this point, because I'm just playing... At this point, we're just playing a creature. And they have plenty of ways of getting rid of them, so... That's unfortunate, but... It was a good match. It was a good match. It was a good match, but we weren't able to get anything going quick enough. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Either way, I enjoy this deck. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not really going to count that second match because that was a very interesting deck our opponent was running. I don't run into Super Friends very often. Decks that use a lot of Planeswalkers, but that one was interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Interesting. So yeah, that's going to do it for the matches. Let's go ahead. Like I said, we have a pact open, so let's get to that. All right. We did get something new, 2 things new in the commons and uncommons. Banishing Light and Specimen Freighter. Another artifact, 6 cost, wow. And return up to 2 target non-spacecraft creatures to their owner's hands. Okay, so it balances 2 things. To attack defending player mills 4. Okay. And what about the rare? Stomping Ground. I would have preferred something else, but it is what it is. So, that is going to do it for us. If you enjoyed this episode, which I do sincerely hope you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you happen to be new to the channel, hello, welcome, and please do consider subscribing. And to stay up to date for whenever new content is released, don't forget to hit that bell icon after you subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next time.